Brenner. It's goal! Celtic has scored!
Well then, that's a long week, wasn't it? Hello and welcome to Voice of the Boys. We're trying to be optimistic, obviously.
I'm optimistic.
You know you are. I'm still Chris.
I'm Jack's episode 10. Here we go, ready to go.
10 in a row and that.
So I've said that this year is the 10 in a row year because, like other people like to say, when Brendan wasn't in the league didn't count. So this is the 10 in a row season. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
Good man.
Number 10, you asking me?
Number 10.
Who's first number 10?
Give me number 10.
I've got Anthony Stokes.
That's what I was actually thinking of.
John Hartson. Musa. Big Moose. Musa wins it every time.
I think he's one of the years your most.
Musa wins it every time.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, we obviously both go to the games and things like that.
New Celtic mug.
Sorry, Celtic mug, on you go. Thanks, Jack. Thanks.
They were on clearance at the Celtic store, that's why.
If anyone wants Jacko-Marcus mugs.
It's a good meme. John and Jacko-Marcus.
Obviously, we go to the games and things like that. We like to shout out our friends at the Highland Hoops, especially Craig, Jimmy, Mark, Willie, Monkey. Who else can you think of?
Johnny Mac.
Jimmy Mac.
I don't know if I'd said Monkey.
We'll see it now.
By the way, he's just his nickname's Monkey for some reason.
They're our friends at the Highland Hoops. Obviously, they see you guys every single weekend, and as much as it wasn't the result we were looking for, thanks for the support as much in the podcast, and we'll see you guys after an international break. This is the last episode before Hollybags.
Yeah,
another thing that's something I need to mention to you. Obviously, I'm away to Malta, and you're away to Dubai.
You want to take a picture because you're going to miss me that much?
No, but well, we've got a video obviously coming out about when we're away. Jack will post that when he's away. He's going to Dubai. Why are you going to Dubai, Jack?
It's warm.
Don't lie. Have you seen?
No, I've seen.
This is the thing. Have you seen Ryan Kent's looking for someone to babysit his crocodile?
What?
Right, this is what I wanted to say in camera. It's Jack, doesn't know what that's what you're going crocodile training up for Ryan Kent.
That's right.
Ryan Kent has put an advert out in Turkey saying that he's got a pet alligator or crocodile and he's got a 4-figure sum for a wage or a salary for someone to look after his pet crocodile.
Surely it has to be like a baby crocodile.
I don't know.
God knows. Anyway, let's go into the actual Celtic information. So this week was a kick-off at Parkhead. Here we go. The unfortunate event ended in a 0-0 draw with St Johnstone. As I said last week, I never gloated. I never said it was going to be an easy win, and it looks like I was right. I was kind of worried how we were going to play, and I was right to be worried. Right. The way we came out and played perfectly into St Johnstone's hands. We were looking to exploit the space in St Johnstone's midfield and our back line by holding the ball back with defence and try and get the St Johnstone team to push onto us and exploit spaces, and it wasn't happening. St Johnstone were more than happy to sit back and let Celtic play about with the ball and create these chances going down the wings that eventually led to not many successful chances. The positives I've got here is the only players who got a pass mark for me was Alistair Johnson, who was recently back, could only play 60 minutes. Thought he was actually okay. He wasn't the worst, didn't make any clear mistakes, and he was getting up the pitch okay. Joe Hart, who made 2 really good saves, one where he threw out his hand and touched the ball past the post, and possibly Yang. He's like a 50-50. He was okay. Some things he could have done better. Maybe he's taking a wee bit too much time in the ball, and he's failing to get that final passes. His final ball's a wee bit wayward. The only 3 good chances in the game I can remember. Ekyo had a good chance, but he put it past the post. I'm not sure how past it was, but the main 3 chances we had all fell to Matt Riley. The first 2 were saved by the goalkeeper down to his bottom right in the first half and down to his bottom left. Maybe I don't exactly know what it was.
Bottom left the second half.
Bottom left in the second half. And the third one he put over the bar. That's the only positives I've got of the game. The rest of it was
it's been brilliant.
It was hard to watch, I must admit.
This is right. If me and Jack, as we've said before, take turns doing episodes. This was Jack's episode to type out and things like that. So I would have struggled to find any positives. I'm glad you've got a few. For me, there's a couple of things I want to touch on. The Matt O'Reilly chances. I think it shows that there's a lot of improvement to have with Matt O'Reilly. As much as there's a lot of rumours to go to England, 3 chances in a game, you need to take 1 for me.
Yeah,
that's
especially
when
they're
that good chances. The second thing, the system we're playing now, obviously it's very different from Andrew's system. I don't know if anyone who watches Celtic for the 90 minutes will understand the technical issues that we're seeing just now. And for me, I'm watching Kyogo and Callum McGregor not involved in the game at all. And they're very pivotal to the way that we play just now. It's very...
Yeah, they are.
I'm almost watching... So we're going to touch on strikers and that coming up. I'm watching Kyogo play as like another midfielder. Why is he so deep? Get him forward. The best time you get Kyogo is when the ball's cut back to him, he's in the 6-yard box and he poaches it in.
And a lot of the chances he gets is playing off the shoulder of these defenders and gaining space, allowing the wingers to have a wee bit more time in the ball, because he's dragging the centre backs, he's taking them with him, he's creating space.
CDM wise, I would rather we push Callum McGregor further forward to exploit teams, because he is a great number 8. Why have we signed Keown? You've got Awata, you've just signed as well. And it's almost like they're not playing and you're playing Callum McGregor in that holding role.
It's a weird one. You think with the push Callum McGregor further up the pitch, allowed him a wee bit more freedom, played one of them at CDM.
Someone you've not mentioned there as well that I would like to touch on as well, just quickly, before we touch on anything else. Lagerbilk, by the way. This is a guy who's literally landed.
He wasn't terrible.
He's literally landed, chucked in twice.
I don't think the defence made many mistakes.
No,
you can't blame... I see a lot of people blaming missing players. We're basically only missing players in defence. And the defence wasn't the biggest problem.
And I don't care if how many players you're missing. You're missing, right? For me, Celtic, if I look at it
last season... Can I be honest? The only players you're missing there that are first team players is Carter Vickers and the Rocky.
Hatate. I'd say Hatate.
Well, Hatate, but we don't know why Hatate's missing. I seen contradicting statements of whether he was injured or whether he's...
Obviously, we'll touch on contracts and things like that coming up. Things we'll need to touch on. But Hatate and the Rocky, Carter Vickers, for me, I don't care if you're missing those three, you should be beating St Johnstone. I confidently sat here and said that you should beat St Johnstone. I believe that. I said that last week, I believe it this week. St Johnstone are bottom of the league, they got knocked out the cup in the group stages because they weren't good enough to progress through. We should have bet St Johnstone no matter the team. On the other hand, looking at from Andrew's starting 11, it's a new 11 together. Obviously, I know they training that hangs together, I'm not making excuses, but going off Andrew's starting 11, Starfelt's left, Moyes left,
yeah, I mean, you've had a couple of people left. Look,
Hatate's out, Carter Vickers out, there's 5 out the 11.
It's always a big changing manager. It doesn't help when the manager who's coming in has basically a U-turn in the opposite style of football than your previous manager. And he has tried to change the style. And it just looks like the players are maybe struggling a wee bit to pick up as quick as they should be.
But it baffles me then, because, and I get what you're saying, it baffles me, right? But if you've got such a good system that worked so well for us, and I'm not saying jump on it and copy Ange, make small tweaks.
Yeah, but then this doesn't come down to Brendan Rodgers, that comes down to the board. They should have brought in a manager who played a similar style of football to Ange, who would have been Knutson at Bodo Glimt. He played a similar style of football, an attacking football, the same formation, and he loved to play that attacking football. They knew, the board, choosing Brendan Rodgers, that it was a different style of football than what we've been playing. And that's just what happens when you change a style of football. But you need to go through a teething phase.
For me, right, so for the first season, I said this at the weekend to Jack, you'll probably remember me saying it in the pub. First season under Brendan Rodgers, Invincibles, was brilliant. It's arguably up there with Ange's football. The second season, it was a good season. The wheels were still turning, but they were very slow. We were still playing good football. We were drawing 2-2 with teams like Hibs and things like that.
Yeah.
We got beat 4-0 at Tynecastle. Still good football, don't get me wrong, but it was different standards. The third season under Rodgers was shocking football. It was really, really poor, and we've touched on it, and I touched on the Europa League getting through it by the skin of our teeth. We got played off the park by Valencia. I think we eventually lost to Rangers in that season. I think Ryan Jack scored the winner. Looking at that third season, right, it was very slow. You were passing the ball between Simonovic and Boyata and Lustig and Bitonin. And
this is the kind of style of football that Brendan Rodgers plays. He's going to use the defenders. He's going to play the ball amongst his back two centre backs. Okay? He's going to use his right back and his left back. He's going to play this football in the hope that the team you're playing pushes their strikers onto the ball. They push their strikers up. They push their midfielders up because they want to win the ball back. That exploits space. And that gives your midfield space to move, and it gives your striker space to move. But when you're playing teams like St Johnstone and Kilmarnock, and the reason why it's not worked is because these teams are happy enough to sit with their players behind the ball and let Celtic play with the ball. You will see a different Celtic this weekend, and the reason I say this is because you're playing a team who will attack the ball.
See, if I'd done TikTok, guys had been clapped.
They're going to press onto the ball. No, you will see a different Celtic, because they're going to push onto the ball, Rangers. They're going to push high. They're going to play high. and it will give Celtic a wee bit more freedom in midfield. It will give the players a wee bit of space to move. Are we going to win or are we going to draw? I think possibly it might be a good result.
If you're right, you'll pay for a drink for the rest of the night.
However, there always is the risk we're going to lose the game. But I think you'll see a bit more creative play, you'll see a bit more freedom, and you'll see Celtic in a couple more really good chances, especially if we play Yang and Lewis Palma if he comes in. If he's in time and he's fit, you will see a different Celtic. I believe it will be a very strong performance, be stronger than the previous weeks, but that's because they're going to have the space and they're going to have the time to play Brendan's style of football. You don't have that when you're playing teams like Command, like Austin Johnson. They're happy enough to sit behind the ball and they're not creating those spaces for you.
Can I also say, right,
I feel like Martin Tyler or something like that.
That was very in depth. I do a lot of the research of the players and things like that, and I would like to point out I was very right about Dimitar Mitov. Very controversial character, the goalkeeper for St Johnstone. Which, do you know what? He's at Celtic Park. 60,
I don't think you can blame him.
No,
the referee doesn't say anything to him once. And if the referee wasn't saying anything to me, I'd take as much time as I could.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's always the issue, though. It's like, how long can you time waste before and that's an issue that we see relentlessly at Celtic Park.
The referee books a guy for taking about a minute to take a throw in, but he's took about 20 minutes to take goal kicks the full game, and the referee's like, it's fine. Scottish referee, and you can't blame the boy. I think fair enough to him.
Negatives when you
fair enough to St Johnstone. Actually, I think they would have been happy with the style of play. The same as
complain. Yeah, you
can't complain. They played well, and I'm not going to be one of these people sit here and go, oh, but they wasted time, that's why we lost. No, we lost because we couldn't take our chances and we couldn't create enough good chances. Right. So the negatives I'm going to go with here is the team lacked creativity, speed, players misplacing passes and arriving second to every loose ball in the midfield.
You could have played all day, you wouldn't have scored.
No, I think there was so many misplaced passes.
See, if that was Angie's first year, right, and we had 8 minutes added on, there was that sort of like that Dundee United.
You could always see your team, you could see scoring.
We weren't going to score.
Couldn't see scoring. I was saying that to the guys around me. I went, look, I can't see anything coming from this. And even when the ball comes out, it's 90 plus 2 or something, 3. The ball comes out to Liam Scales and he's at a walking pace.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, it wasn't really his foot, the movement wasn't there. There was nobody moving from him, nobody wanted the ball. Second, Kyogo dropping too deep. It's not Kyogo's fault, he's been asked to do it, and he's struggling to do it. I'm going to make this statement live here. Chris wasn't sure if I'd make a statement, I made it after the game. If we continue with that style of football, and we keep asking Kyogo to play that part, he's not going to be your Celtic striker for long, because he can't play that part well. He plays off the shoulder, he plays attacking, he isn't going to drop that far deep. It's not going to work.
I've also witnessed though Brendan Rodgers use a lot of strikers where they play off the shoulder. So this is where I'm cut, and this is where my opinion changes, and this is definitely a talking point. Brendan Rodgers came in, one of the first things that happened was he gave Kyogo a 4-year deal. A 4-year deal's been agreed with Kyogo. I don't know if it was because Jota was away, etc, but Kyogo got a 4-year deal. For me, I don't care what manager it is. You kind of play to your tools. You kind of play to what you've got. Kyogo for me is something that I wouldn't have changed quickly. I think I was talking about it before a ball was kicked this season. If the way he keeps going and he plays out his 4-year contract, he could have numbers that are up there, very high in the goal scoring charts.
Yeah, we both agree.
I can't see why Kyogo's playing so deep. I definitely agree the system's not suiting them, but I also think it's not suiting your captain, Callum McGregor, and that's for me your 2 most crucial players. So something either need to change or the pair of them can get dropped. And
I mean, look,
Callum McGregor and Kyogo.
I've always said this to Chris, and I don't think Chris agreed at the start, but now he's starting to think more like it. If you can bring in a better striker than Kyogo, if you bring in someone who plays better than Kyogo, and I know a lot of people are attached to Kyogo, you play the best player you've got. And at the end of the day, if it's turning out that Callum McGregor's not cutting it, or Kyogo isn't cutting it, you drop them from the squad and you bring
This is something I said though. Do you think you can see Kyogo playing as a number 10? Because he's always liked a number 10. Go through Rodgers' teams, not just Celtic teams as much as he had Rogic and Armstrong. Go through James Maddison, Philippe Coutinho. He's had someone who's kind of played off the striker. I could always see Kyogo doing
maybe
that.
I guess it could be a possibility, but then right now we don't really. Our number 10 is where it's coming out about, if I'm not appreciated, I don't want to be here sort of part. But like it's brilliant. I'm
sitting there. We need to touch on that now, right? You can't just not say that. Right, Haksabanovic has decided, right, as much as he's came on and done all right,
he decided he wants to turn into like a middle-aged teenage girl and decided he wants to post all his problems on TikTok.
Did you see who liked it?
Instagram, who liked it?
Rocco Vata and Bernabe liked it. I think they've deleted likes on that. I can't. If I'm not appreciated, I'll go elsewhere. Or something.
I don't know if it's a problem with Haksabanovic and the board, Haksabanovic and the management, Haksabanovic and other players. I don't know where the problem is, but there's a problem somewhere.
How can I turn round 2 weeks ago and go, Haksabanovic isn't happy, right? He's either going to get the minutes he needs and he's going to play off them and do well, or he's going to leave. Haksabanovic then gets minutes. Haksabanovic plays okay, not outstanding. And then I'm like, do you know what? He's going the right way. He might find form if he gets regular minutes. And then he just spits the dummy out. How do you do that?
Yeah, no, it's not great. What is this?
It's actually, it's like being back in high school.
The banner years have arrived. He's posting.
He won't. I can't see. There's not long left of the window. I can't see him being here much longer. Go.
That's if anybody actually wants to buy him. Anyway, that's the other negatives to change the style of football. Too much adapting, so few games. Yeah, it's just obvious. Random points. Greg Taylor's been dropped from the Scotland squad, and I believe someone else has been dropped from the Scotland squad for Celtic.
Ralston.
It could be Ralston. It
I
could
think
be.
it's
I've seen two, but Taylor's one.
Ralston and Taylor, I think it is. Ralston's had a couple of call-ups. David Turnbull's not featured properly in years. Is Cal McGregor's still there for Scotland?
Cal
I think
McGregor's
Cal McGregor is going to be... He's always a crucial part for Scotland, and obviously when we're not recording because we're on holiday, Scotland are playing.
I'd say he's the Scotland captain after Andy Robertson.
I'd have always said that, but John McGinn nips in front of him for Steve Clark.
I know.
I think Cal McGregor's someone that they don't want to lose in the changing room in Scotland, and I think him not, as I just literally said just there, I can't see a way in him and Kyogo getting dropped from Celtic system. I agree with you, but I think Cal McGregor also needs to bite the bullet.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It would affect Scotland more if Cal McGregor wasn't getting regular minutes, but I can't see a way in which Cal McGregor and Kyogo get dropped. But if the form continues and you're changing the system, they need to get dropped, or they need to change position. Cal McGregor needs to play further forward, and Kyogo needs to play as a number 10, because Kyogo can't play last man and Cal McGregor can't play 6.
It's not working, so we have to change it up. But look, I think we should change this weekend. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to speak more on it until I see what actually happens, because I was slightly annoyed with it all. Now I'm going to go
Paradise Plaques, where you can find all your merchandise, Celtic memorabilia and stickers. Go to
www.paradiseplaques.co.uk for all your Celtic stickers. Thank you very much. This one, transfers Lewis Palma to Celtic. The Honduras international has reportedly, I've seen a couple of different things. He was apparently in London, then somebody was saying he was in Dubai. There were two reputable Celtic journalists, but he's either in London or he's in Dubai.
He flew last night.
Where did he fly from?
He flew from Greece. He flew from Greece to London. It got announced last night.
He was in London, but someone said he was in Dubai. One of the guy that announced the Daniel Prudence stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
Whatever his name is. He's quite a big
McGowan, is it?
McGowan, Steve McGowan. He reported he was in Dubai and he was waiting in international clearance to come to the United Kingdom, but if need be, he could have done the fitness test or.
He's definitely, he's a gear. He's a gear he was talking to.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
He's a gear, right? This is what I seen in Twitter. I don't know if it's true or not. He's a gear. He recommended him to the Celtic board and Brendan Rodgers, and he then spoke out and says that he's happy they've listened to him.
Izagiri is the top agent, up there with players such as
Daniel Mastanovic,
Wanyama, whose manure moves.
Emilio Izagiri, Celtic club more than you will know.
Look, I've seen other clubs making compilations in this guy. They were saying he was that good. Now he's just a guy from Honduras, apparently now. But a couple of months ago, the guy was the next best thing since sliced bread, according to some people on Twitter and some fan pages. But now he's just a guy from Honduras. He looks fast. He looks interesting. Will it work? You possibly.
So
but there's an interesting part.
Right.
Palma requested the number 17. However, the number's unavailable.
In the Rockies.
So he'll wear the number 7.
Good.
So it's quite interesting.
Good.
Give him the number 7. He better be a baller.
He's up there with Chief for me now. Do you know what? He's probably in par with Chief. That's like one of the most Celtic's most obscure number 7 for you.
Yeah, probably not there, Chief. I mean,
him or Freddie Lindbergh. I'm going one of two.
Nadir Chiefchi, Turkish international. Kyle, there's a shout out for you. Turkish international means he must be good. Nadir Chiefchi, baller.
We've got a couple of. So this is what's been reported recently. I've just screenshot this on the way to the podcast. Right, they have a good. Right, that's changed.
That's changed.
This has
it's
changed, I'm gonna say
changed.
to you,
Yeah,
right.
okay, it's changed.
So you read out your part and then I'll read out my
So
part.
I'm going to go with Matthias.
Right, go for it. Kevitz Garden.
Skivitsgarden.
No, Kevitz Garden.
Nah, it's a silent K.
Okay.
Skivitsgarden.
Kevitz Garden.
Whatever his name is, bid was rejected. Celtic had made a £4 million bid for the Brøndby striker, young guy, Danish, was rejected. Apparently the talking was about 6 or 7 million they wanted. That's how it was going. But now Chris is telling me it's changed.
According to Tuesday Mercato, a deal is very close for Brøndby striker Metis Kevitz Garden. The fee is 4 million, rising to 7 million with add-ons. The 21-year-old has 6 goals and 6 assists in his last 9 games for Brøndby this season. Right, so this is a 21-year-old striker that I can definitely probably see starting for Celtic now. So this is like, you taking selfies?
Yes.
So,
I'm taking pictures of you.
oh, good.
Kvistgården.
No, we're not.
Kvistgården.
No, I'm
That's
not.
the name.
That's it. Right, anyway.
Garden.
Garden.
His name stands for the garden. That will be his
Yeah,
nickname.
it's the garden.
The garden.
No, we need to pick something in the garden. Call him that.
Oh, I don't know. Like My Little Tomato or something like that. My Little Tomato, the garden.
No. The lawn.
Nah, right, shut up. Keep going.
Right.
Read it.
Anyway, so more or less,
So
this
it's
was
been
reported from the Daily Mail and the Sun. So
Now, Celtic and Brendan Rodgers isn't bringing a £7 million striker
to sit on the
to
bench.
sit at the bench.
See, when we were talking earlier, obviously we talked before this. We don't go into much detail. I knew that, and I just wanted to keep that up my sleeve.
I wanted to.
Uh,
So,
and a couple
is this
of
why you're
other
talking about Kyogo maybe possibly
playing as a number
dropping
10.
to 10?
I can't see a way in which Kyogo gets a 4-year contract and he sits on the bench. So we
Unless-
have a good high chance of this deal. Luis Palma and Kets Garden, whatever.
The Garden.
This
The
is-
Garden and Lewis are going to be balling out.
This is what I hate though, because we're so near the end of the window. Obviously this is recorded on Tuesday, the window ends on Friday. Gonna give me a couple of weeks, Celtic, so I can learn how to pronounce these guys' names. Palma's quite easy, right?
Yeah, well,
We've got another 2 to come.
You go for it.
This is reported by Everything Celtic on Twitter. Excuse me. Celtic are looking to complete the signing of Benfica central midfielder Paulo Bernardo on loan. The Portugal under-21 international is not in the manager Roger Smith's plans for the season. Right? First thing before we go any further, we don't need another centre mid.
Right.
Second thing before we go any further, if we sign this kid on loan, for me I think Awata's going to be playing centre back the rest of the season. Because you're going to end up pushing one back.
I don't think Awata's going to be playing anymore for the rest of the
So what's the point signing him?
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. I don't think it was a Rodgers decision there. Look, it wasn't a Rodgers decision to sign Awata. He was there before Rodgers was here. Even I seen this was an argument we seen on Twitter. Was it you? Yeah, it was you. Yeah. In the way back from the Celtic game the other day, people saying on Twitter, "Why is he not starting a minute of football? He's brilliant." And then everyone was commenting like he didn't even get much time under. He only get time under Ange when Carter Vickers was injured.
He
So,
got
like-
more minutes under Ange because we realised that Kobayashi couldn't control football.
I don't think. Look, I don't think the boys up to standard.
I think he's still going to be your Mr. Versatile. I think you're going to see him everywhere playing for you.
You're going to see him everywhere on the bench. Left side of the bench, right side
No,
of the
you know
bench,
what I
centre
mean.
of the bench, running down the sidelines.
We were playing pre-season when we were right back over Ralston.
Well, look, and then look how that's turned out. Ralston now is starting.
You playing your PJ shots? Eh?
Yes, look, if you're going to say North centre mid, make sure, right, so the way I look at this, I wanted to bring this up earlier when we were talking about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Every player who started in that defence at the weekend should be a good enough standard to play, except from the level of skills. Alistair Johnson's your starter.
Right.
Left back Greg Taylor's your starter.
And Lagerbielke.
And if you're saying Lagerbielke isn't starting quality, why spend £3.4 million on the boy? So he should be good enough quality start, correct?
Right, aye.
So you're only missing one player in your defence. So it's not that much a defensive crisis.
I think you're going to see Awata or Alistair Johnson right centre back.
Well, I said that and I get shot down at the pub at the weekend. I said,
didn't shoot you
no,
down.
it wasn't you. But I said, play
Our
Alistair
friends in the-
Johnson,
our friends in
play
the Highland
Alistair
Hoops.
Johnson, right centre back, and play Ralston.
Call him out.
I must
Watch
admit, I've got more hope in Alistair Johnson and Ralston than I
You had your
have.
chance to call
I've got
him out.
more hope in Ralston than I do in Liam Scales. No
Aye.
offence to Liam Scales, I think he's too small, he's not strong enough, and he's playing against a very physical team. We talked about this before in the podcast, they're a very physical team this season. With the
We'll
big
touch on
Brazilian-
that in a
big Brazilian
minute.
boy.
One more.
Alright,
One more.
signing,
This
go
is more and out there. we've got 2 or 3 days to see if anything comes of it. Reported by the Celtics are here as the clock ticks on closer to the SPFL deadline, blah 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 blah. One name that has been making the rounds in the Celtic transfer mill is Bologna striker Sidney Van Hooijdonk. The 23-year-old forward is the son of Pierre Van Hooijdonk.
I was going to ask that then. Is that actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for me, I can't see a way in which we sign him now after that bid being accepted. But we're going to report it. I think it's just one of those ones where they go, Jordan Larson's coming.
Like, I think everything's been thrown out these days. I mean, like, only a couple of weeks ago we were signing Scott McTominay, and
something we do need to touch on is the contract situation. So before we go any further, we were meant to get a defender from Southampton called Lyanco. He's just taking an imaginary sip of tea. Lyanco's went to Saudi Arabia instead of coming to
Lyanco's
Celtic.
away to Saudi Arabia.
The contract situation. Abada and Hattati have been offered contracts, right? Hattati's put his on hold to see what offers come in from before
Until the end
window.
of the window.
And then he'll resume conversation. Abada's not answered yet, apparently. We're 3 days to go.
Now, the old saying, no matter how good they are, if they don't want to be here,
let them go.
get them out of here.
Right, but I think that they're going to end up just doing an improved, one more year added on and an improved wage package for both. So I think they've both got 3 years left. So in terms of signing a 4-year contract, I mean, it's
sign a 4-year contract, year extension, basically all well, everyone included, knowing if an offer comes in for you, we'll let you go.
Yeah, correct, and that's
We're
for
not gonna keep you for the
Hattati
4
and
years.
Abada. With 3 days to go, Hattati I can't see going now just because of injury. There's not been enough concrete evidence that Abada would go.
Well, the sources I had, Peter Lawwell and Dermot Desmond were outside my window the other day.
Well, that was scary. So you were at the wind-up then, aye?
No, well, there might be something behind it, from what I've heard.
Aye.
Something in the message. But yeah, we just need to look on and see what's happening here. And it's just, look, you take Hattati in another year, but Hattati has to get fit and he has to pick up his game before he has to do it. If he doesn't do it, we're looking in trouble because he was our most promising midfielder for 2 years and we love him. But if it's true what's coming out, a lot of people are saying that he's picked up an injury, but maybe the toys have been thrown out of the pram a wee bit. We really don't want to see that.
Well, look, I think I can't see a way in which he goes now. It's been with 3 days to go, obviously, guys, in this we've said we're going on holidays and things like that, so we can't obviously keep you up to date. Obviously,
we're going to go a week without any knowledge. You're going to go a week, well, if here where you get your Celtic information from. I know there's a couple of guys in the comments, we'll give them a wee shout out at the end, saying they've watched since the start, they're loving it. Shout out to you guys, I'll get the names up in a second.
We're more at the point now where there's a lot of sources on Twitter, like Celtic Underground are saying we're going to sign 5 players and things like that. Brendan Rodgers wants to add to this squad, but I think he won't want to lose it.
Nearly 100 subscribers.
What are we at?
77, by the way.
Keep pushing, guys, keep
It has, if
subscribing.
we get to 100, we will throw a party in the room.
Hats on and all.
Party poppers and all sorts.
While you get all that, I'll touch on the Rangers team if you want. Or do you want to
We'll
read
leave that to last and we'll keep that
Alright,
short.
alright, you go.
So we've got Boosty1888 who commented, Hail boys, video came up on my phone today, so I thought join in. It's Celtic and only Celtic. Thank you very much for that. And Joseph GNEW4826 says, Hail boys, first time here. Yes, we're out of the cup because players didn't perform. Players look tired, fed up, moans about injuries. The players coming in should be able to play as a new team. Must improve for Saturday. Hail.
And I've got a wee shout out for Gordon and Craig, who obviously know me from my job outside of here, and they have been watching it regular, but actually listening to the podcast driving up for the game at the weekend.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
On the phones, on the car. So thanks for obviously listening, guys. Should we touch on the Mankey Mob?
Yeah, touch on it. I wouldn't be calling them that in case we called in.
Right.
We respect all teams in Scotland, but not you.
Not you. I'll go through what I think is going to be their team. Obviously, as I've touched on, they're playing a very narrower formation. Obviously, this is the night before they play PSV.
Yep.
The first leg ended 2-2. They got a 2-0 win away at Dingwall.
And this was so funny. Can I talk about this, please?
Going to go, yeah.
He's slating Seema. He's calling him for all sorts. Rubbish. Terrible. How's he there? And the goal he scored, I must admit.
It's a rocket.
It was top.
It's a rocket.
Good goal.
But that's just my luck, and I'll end up picking on one of them and he'll score, and then Matondo's another one I pick on and he scores a brilliant goal as well.
Yeah.
But then both don't actually start every game. they've not started them regularly.
Yeah, well, I mean, people were saying that Seema must have a clause in his contract because he doesn't start
I think that
any of the league games.
So
Seema
Seema doesn't play any of the league games. He's played a lot of the European games. He comes on in the league games. I think he might have a clause in his contract to play in Europe.
Or could it be such European football?
I could be wrong. Looking at their team, it's very much Jack Butland in goals, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Barisic. We'll run through it quickly because we need to.
Raskin,
Cantwell,
who else
Ryan Jack,
non-American boy,
Cifuentes, Danilo and Dessers. They play very narrow, they play very aggressive, they play very on the front foot.
They're a strong team, not strong as in ability, they're strong as in physically
strong.
And that's why Liam Scales.
One guy I do want to touch on, obviously just talking about Scotland earlier, and very rightly so, who could be a debate to play in the Scotland team, who plays for Rangers and by the sounds of it, a lot of Rangers fans are quite a fan of, is John Souttar. John Souttar's apparently had a really good season, and do you know what? Now go through the Scotland centre-halves, obviously it's not a Scotland channel, you could get in over Jack Hendry.
Got the Scotland top on.
You could get in over Jack Hendry.
Well, I don't know about that now, Jack Henry away, Taylor to Fack, big move, lot of money.
Aye, because Steven
Solid
Gerrard's
player.
scouting system's shocking, that's how he's took him.
Oh, he got Musa. Don't even know how Musa's been doing. Check, you know.
I think he scored one or two.
Keep talking, I'll go check what Musa's doing.
I think with the Rangers team, they're very narrow. Obviously, I'm not confident at all. I think it'll be a draw for lucky. I think Rangers could win.
I think Celtic could win.
Jack seems to not be confident in the St Johnstone game, but confident for this one.
Well, I'm not confident, but what I'm going to say is I do believe the style fits us more. You know, the Rangers players are going to push on us, they're going to push on. That fits Brendan's style of football. It's going to create the spaces in midfield, and it's going to create the spaces that Brendan Rodgers wants to try and exploit the back line.
But this is now my question. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers is more or less confirmed. We're going to get 4 or 5 signings in before the end of the window. It's not his finished squad. You could look at Palma, as you've said, being chucked in the wings with Yang. The boy, Big Garden, he could be up front.
Oh, they're playing now.
Oh, what's the score?
I don't know, it says live. Table live. Not full time, I don't know. God knows, it says live, but Musa Dembele played, he got 3.8 out of 5.
That's alright. No, they look as if they're definitely a narrow, aggressive team. They've got PSV. I think for any Celtic fan, we can hope that they take it to 120 minutes and the Dutch do us a favour and knock them out on penalties or something, because then their legs have went. But we've also seen that where they have went 120 minutes and played Celtic in a semi-final and bet as an extra time again. Look, it's a totally different Rangers team from that team that did reach the European final. A guy like Hadji, for me, I thought would have suited their system more, being more narrow than number 10.
I think they've replaced a lot of good players with a lot of average players from that European.
I don't understand why Hadji's went out on loan.
For me, it looks like letting Morelos go is a wee bit of a stupid idea. You know?
No, Morelos had an attitude problem. They had to let him go.
I seen a guy in Super Squad saying Celtic should say Morelos.
That's a wind-up. I have seen it, but it's a wind-up.
You think so? I don't think. I think somebody's raging.
Ryan Kent as well, he's crocodile in Turkey now, or whatever he's doing. There's so much there's so much change to that team. I think it's a new face team. Michael Beale's definitely been backed. Whatever side
he's been backed with this money that they don't have.
Whatever side doesn't win, the fan base are going to go into turmoil. That's how it's confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, look.
You just sitting and look.
I'm reading
scrolling.
I'm reading
what was that saying then?
Well, I was reading that about the boy you're talking about.
Aye, scrolling. Anyway, right.
Look, I just anything that you're talking about there, I don't really want to entertain it.
Well, I think that it's going to be a tight game, and I would take a draw. If we go in, still a point in front into the international break, I'll take it. Always a hard game at Ibrox. Still no allocation. It's always hard.
4 points.
You think we'll win? Right, that's fine. Okay. I don't see.
I say keep the faith.
Don't touch the mic.
Father Brendan is at the helm.
You're well sitting with Rosary Beach. You're going to have to pray.
Keep the faith. If anyone's in Gracies at the weekend, going to Gracies, keep the faith. I'll be there with my Rosary beads on. I'm not going to say priest uniform, that was like a joke. Rosary beads out, Bible in the other hand, praising the Lord. Praising the Lord when Lewis Palmer scores a volley from 23 yards. 23 is the number.
Right, anyway.
We'll be having another bet at the weekend.
Who?
Last week's bet went so well for us.
I don't.
Just figured out how booking points work. Yes, guys, well done.
And Arsenal.
Oh, aye,
Arsenal let my captains done. Anyway, we done?
Nah.
What do you want to do?
Keep going. Nah, I'm kidding. Hey, you need to give the answer to last week's question of the week.
Oh, yes. I'm sure I have it here.
doesn't even remember what last week's question of the week was.
It was. So, if I'm correct in saying...
the one for the fans, wasn't it?
No, it was who was the last Swede? Was it?
Oh, Nah,
No, it was one for the fans. It was the Champions League memories.
So that's my fault. I've actually got some here, actually.
Yeah.
Got one here. So, one of the answers is Man City 3-3. That comes from Cammy. We've got a number one follower here who thinks Rangers is going to win a treble. Good stuff, Dylan, my guy.
Nice to see he's engaged.
The only treble Rangers are winning is the treble rubbish, because they're absolutely crap. Anyway, look, thanks for watching. The question of this week, I've actually got a question for this week. Now, if somebody gets this, it's absurd, good on you, and you deserve a £5 from Chris.
Just for me, aye.
Anyone who gets this, Chris will be emailing a £5 through PayPal. So the question is, who scored for the USSR at Hampden Park, scored in 2 European Cup finals, and also scored in a World Club Championship final?
Right. Just disclaimer, no Highland Hoops are allowed to answer it because we all know the answer.
You're not
So
getting-
anyone
you're not getting a
in the Highland Hoops that we've seen at the weekend isn't allowed to answer it.
You're not getting a £5. They were all too stupid to remember.
Some of them weren't, but you're not allowed to answer it because I'm not giving you a £5. That's us. Anyway, guys, we're away on our holidays, as we said. We have got a video going out. Make sure and check it out. Jack will upload it when he is abroad, unfortunately. Grafting and that, making sure that he's always
all the hard work from me. Yes. I don't know if I can schedule it, actually. I might be able to schedule it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Here we go. Heel. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Celtic.
You're too off.
We'll be back when we're 4 points clear.